Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Wedding Photo Podcast. This episode is brought to you by iPhoto Rentals. iPhoto Rentals is a rental house located in the Inland Empire. They're located in Pomona, but they serve all of the Inland Empire. They serve Los Angeles, Orange County. If you can get to them, they'll help you out. They have camera equipment, audio equipment, lighting equipment. They have everything that you need for your next shoot. And if you go in there and mention this podcast, they will give you 10% off of your next rental. So thank you, iPhoto Rentals, for supporting this podcast and supporting photographers and videographers. You guys are awesome. So thanks for that. Also, if you'd like to get in contact with me, you can find this podcast anywhere where you listen to podcasts. So iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, any of those. And if you would like to reach out to me, you got a question that you want to hear answered on the podcast or something that you want to talk about, wedding photography related, you can find me on Instagram at Wedding Photo Podcast. And you can also find me on Twitter at DelToroPhoto, and all the links are in the show notes below. So yeah, on today's episode, I just wanted to do another solo episode. I just wanted to talk about a couple of topics. I wanted to bring up, I was talking to someone this week about Instagram, and we were just kind of talking about it, and I also talked about it with my wife a little bit. And Instagram's basically like having your own website. Nowadays, I think Instagram is used just like Google to find certain vendors for certain things, especially in the wedding industry. So when I look at our analytics through our website to see where most of our traffic comes from, I would say it's about 50-50 Google searches and Instagram, and then everything else after that. But yeah, Instagram is a huge component in our marketing and a huge component in our reach to our potential customers. So we do believe that the way you manage your website and the way you manage your Instagram is really important. So I just wanted to give a couple tips on managing your Instagram. One of the things we've always been big about is being consistent, whether it be on your website, really any social media. But just as you're growing your business, you want to be consistent. You want to be putting out work, showing off the work that you want to be doing. So if you want to shoot more weddings, you want to be putting out more wedding photography, obviously. So in your Instagram, what you want to be doing is you want to be consistently putting out photos from weddings that you are shooting, because it shows that you're a working wedding photographer, and you want to try to get potential clients to engage with you, to give them a chance to look at your photography and see the different things that you could do, showing off different poses, showing off how you interact with your couples, those kinds of things. So I think it's important to consistently be putting out photographs. Everyone always talks about the algorithm, and I have no clue how the algorithm works, and we really don't have a technique on working with the algorithm to get more likes or to get more interactions or more engagement, but there's a couple things that we like to do that it may or may not be working. Honestly, I couldn't tell. I just know that all of our interactions stay pretty much the same, but we like to put out a photo maybe every other day. But we always switch up what time we put it. Sometimes I'll post a photo, early in the morning, like at 7. Sometimes it's at noon, and sometimes it's at 9. When it comes to Instagram, I don't necessarily do the posting at the same time every time I do a post. I'm always kind of just switching it up. And the reason I do that is because I really don't understand the algorithm. So in a way, I guess I'm trying to trick the algorithm, or I'm trying to see if it does make a difference. I do know that sometimes when I'm posting every single day, my friends don't necessarily see the photo that I posted yesterday. It might just hide within the photos. So I like to just break it up. Maybe every other day or every 2 days I'll post a photo on Instagram. But I do try to post as often as I can. I also noticed that, typically after we shoot a wedding or a couple weddings over the weekend, we'll start sharing some sneak peeks, come Sunday, come Monday. And we have noticed that it does help with engagement. We typically get inquiries like that same day for weddings, when we post something from a wedding that we did that previous weekend. So we noticed that has helped us a little bit. The other thing that is really important when it comes to Instagram is sharing stories. I know sharing stories could be, kind of difficult. I mean, we are photographers. A lot of us don't necessarily like being in front of the camera, or it's just a lot harder for us, like we're behind the camera for a reason, because we see the art through our eyes, but we don't necessarily want to point the camera at ourselves. But I think Instagram stories are important because it gives potential clients a little insight to your life. It lets them know a little bit more about you, who you are, the things that you like to do. And I think sharing that stuff with potential clients is important because, people want to be relatable. Your clients want to, or your potential clients want to be able to relate to you, or they want you to be able to relate to them. I think it helps them decide whether or not to pursue a meeting with you, based on kind of, you sharing a little bit insight in your life. It gives them the opportunity to see what a good person you are, how funny you are, the things that, like I said, the things that you like to do, and they might like to do those same things. I know that when we meet up with a lot of our clients, some of the things that they bring up, they already see us on Instagram. They see us doing stuff with our son. They see Maria and I hiking and camping because we really love to do those things as often as possible. So, and they'll bring those things up. We really love your son. He's so cute. How old is he? And right away, we already have something to conversate with, to talk about, and they may have children too. So we start talking. They might be able to relate to us, or they like camping. A lot of times, they'll ask me like, "Oh, where did you just go hiking? I saw you went hiking," and I'll tell them, and we'll start talking about that, and it just helps spark up those conversations and get those potential clients a little bit more comfortable with you, knowing a little bit more about you. And like I said, when you're posting photos more often or stories more often, you will notice a lot more engagement. And I think that's what we want overall. I don't think likes are necessarily important. I think getting engagement from your potential clients and having these little mini conversations and moments with them is really important, because it's going to, I think it will help increase your business as well. And also, people like seeing behind the scenes at weddings. They like to see how you work with your clients, how you shoot. They like to see how much fun you have at the weddings, because they want you to have fun at their wedding as well. And I know posting stories at weddings, for me at least, can be very challenging, because you want to post stories, but at the same time you're working, you're concentrating on the photography, on your clients, on the things that you have to capture. So it can be kind of challenging. I know when I first was trying to post stories, I would post like one at the beginning of the day, like, "Oh, I'm on my way to this wedding at this venue. It's really awesome. Can't wait to show you guys." And then you wouldn't hear from me the rest of the day, because I just forgot to post more stuff. And Maria would always give me a hard time about that. And she's like, you pretty much leave everybody at the edge of their seats, and then they see nothing. So She actually gave me this tip. She told me next time I go out, just next time I go out, just record some videos on Instagram, take some pictures on Instagram, and just save them. I can save them. I don't have to post them right away. So that's what I do now. When I'm at the wedding and I see something cool, I'll take out my phone real quick, take a picture, put it back in my pocket, and then when I have a chance, I'll hit save. Same thing with video. I'll try to record a video of me walking from one location to the other, and I'll try to say something, or give my audience a little bit of what's going on at the wedding, and then I'll just hit save, and again, I'll put it in my pocket. I'll worry about it later. So at the same time, I'm able to record some stories, but I'm also able to remain professional. I'm not sitting there on my phone trying to figure out how to post a story, what to say on it, what to write on it, those kinds of things. So I can just save it for later. And then when you have a chance, like at dinner, or when the wedding's over, you're back at your car or something, you can sit there and go through the stories and put everything together, write it all out, tag the location, tag the couple, or whatever you want to do. You have the time to do that. So that's what I've been doing now. I just record all of my story stuff throughout the day, but I just save them, and at the end of the night, I'll post everything on my stories for everyone to see. If you want more help on learning about how to run your social media, or Instagram more specifically, one of the photographers that really gave us a lot of insight is Jasmine Star. If you don't know who Jasmine Star is, she's a wedding photographer. She's also a speaker at WPPI. I'm not sure if she's still speaking at WPPI, because as far as I've seen on Instagram, it doesn't even look like she's necessarily photographing weddings anymore. I think now she's just focused on business and marketing for Instagram. But we have purchased some of her tutorial stuff on social media, and there's a lot of insightful stuff on there. There's a lot of stuff that really has helped us out. So go check out Jasmine Star. She's been in the business for a really long time, and I think she's got a lot of good stuff to share. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I also asked on Instagram if anybody had any questions. So I just wanted to share one of those questions that came up. This is actually one of my friends. He asked me, I know you get sweaty, but do you bring a rag or a change of shirt just in case? And I know he was being a little funny, but he actually brought up a good point. In the summer, I normally do bring an extra shirt because when we're running around, we're outside, we're taking all these pictures, it gets hot, and you do get sweaty. You do tend to get sweaty. I know I do. For the most part, I wear an undershirt under my dress shirt, so that usually solves the problem. I don't have to. I don't ever really have to change into my other shirt. But in the summer, I will bring a change of shirt just in case. And also, if I'm wearing like a white shirt or something lighter color, I tend to bring an extra shirt just in case something happens. I spill some juice on my shirt, or just anything spills on my shirt, I can go to the car and change into my backup shirt just in case. So I thought that was funny, but I really do that. Also, one of my good friends, Eric McFarland, he's been on the podcast before. One of the things I've seen him do is, he dresses really well. He dresses really professional for weddings, but I've also seen him wear some all black Nikes, and I didn't even notice he was wearing them, because they kind of just go with everything that he's wearing. And I thought that was a really good idea. So I went out and bought some all black Nikes, and I wear them specifically for receptions, because we're on our feet running around all day long, and by the time the reception hits, my feet get really tired. They start to hurt. We've been on our feet sometimes 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever it is. So I got these all black Nikes, and they have just been the best thing ever. I highly recommend it. I usually switch into them sometime, either during dinner or something like that. Once everybody starts partying, I switch over to some Nikes. They're all black, so whatever dress clothes I'm wearing, it kind of just blends in with that, and I don't think anybody really notices. So that's been really, really helpful. Another question I found online was who's had success with branching from more budget weddings to higher end weddings? And if anybody has any tips, what helped you get to that point? I think it's safe to say that most of us wedding photographers all started as budget wedding photographers because we needed to make a name for ourselves, right? So we needed weddings to get more experience, to build our portfolios. I know when I first started, I was charging dirt cheap for shooting weddings. I was charging 300, then 500, then 700, and just kind of slowly making my way up as I got more comfortable shooting weddings. But I think the important thing is to have specific goals, right? Like one of the goals that I set was that I just wanted to become an established wedding photographer, and I pretty much established that within the first year. I was able to shoot enough weddings where people started to recognize me as a wedding photographer. And then I needed to find out, where I was comfortable charging for what, and what kind of things that I wanted to offer. So in the beginning, I tried all kinds of stuff. I tried offering canvas prints and albums, regular prints. I just tried different things to see what people liked. But the thing with this industry that I've always noticed is it takes time to figure out if things really work. So I'll set my packages up at a certain price, and then really you have to kind of wait to see if people are interested in your packages, how many weddings you're able to book and what packages are most popular. So I've always slowly increased our package prices, and really just kind of based off of which packages are more popular, which ones are selling. When I first started, I would always have like a cheaper option. I'd have a middle one, which the way I used to look at it was that's the one I want people to gravitate towards, and then I'd have my more expensive one. But now the way I've redone my packages is I don't want any package to be any better than the other one. I want every package that I have to serve a purpose, So over time, I've been able to raise our prices for our photography and now videography, and see where people really, not only what people are willing to pay for, but what I'm comfortable charging. And another thing is finding your demographic. I think this last year we really reached a point in our pricing that we feel most comfortable charging, knowing that we're making a good living paying that much, and then we're getting the amount of weddings that we want to shoot, and we've finally figured out our demographic. So we have a specific demographic that we're kind of geared towards. These are the kinds of weddings that we're getting. We've reached a point where people aren't really negotiating our prices with us. They find us on Instagram, or they know us through a referral, and they already know that they want to book us, and then they take a look at our packages and they find the one that fits for their wedding. And like I said, we haven't really had anybody negotiating with us anymore. So that was always a big goal for us, is we wanted to reach a point where we're happy with our prices, and so are our customers, right? So people aren't reaching out to us and trying to get us to lower our prices, or we have all our packages have their specific products and things that we offer, and they're all the way we do it is it's all inclusive, so we don't really break it up. Whether you want those products or not, that package has those things, and if you don't like that, then you might want one of the other packages. And that's what's worked for us. But honestly, I think it's a lot of trial and error, and a lot of patience, because you might change your prices, and we all know that we go through some times where people aren't biting. You're not getting any inquiries, or maybe you are getting inquiries but nobody's writing back to you, and that can be worrisome. But really, you just have to be patient sometimes, because we've all been there where we get a ton of inquiries, nobody writes back to us, and then out of nowhere, everybody just starts booking all of a sudden. So you really have to be patient and just kind of see what works for you. And eventually, as long as you keep doing it, you keep photographing weddings, you keep grinding, you keep focused on your goals, you will continue to move up to the next level that you set out to reach. So I guess my tip would just be to set some goals where you want to be. Set up a plan whether you're going to start raising your prices, every 3 months, every 6 months, or every year, however you want to do it. The way we do it is I pretty much change our prices once a year, because I like to take the whole year to see what the trends were, what people liked, what they didn't like, and if there's any changes I want to make. I usually do them sometime towards like the fall. That's how I've always done it. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to talk about a few things and put out another episode for you guys. I am trying to be more consistent with these episodes, but really, I just want to thank all of you listeners for continuing to support this podcast. If you haven't already, please scroll down to the bottom, leave a 5-star rating, leave me a review. Let me know what you think about the podcast. And again, if you want to reach out to me, if you have anything that you want to hear on the podcast, you can find me on Instagram at Wedding Photo Podcast. You can also find me on Twitter at DelToroPhoto. And again, big thank you to iPhoto Rentals for continuing to support this podcast. They are really great. Go check them out. They will give you 10% off of your next rental. Thank you guys for listening to another episode, and we'll see you on the next one.